Today on Broadscast, strong women who've turned tragedy into advocacy.
Katie Beers was held captive for 17 days in a concrete bunker. Why she's speaking out 20 years later and says that experience may have saved her life.
And when a painting contractor exposed two of her children to poisonous lead paint, she wasn't just going to sit back and take it. From Lead Safe America, Tamara Rubin will share her story and tips for all of us to take critical precautions.
Plus, broad topics. We're taking your calls at 661-298-5487.
Well, good morning.
Well, good morning.
Kim, Tatiana, our associate producer, is here this morning. Good morning. Today's topics, other than the broad topics in the next segment, were inspired. The show topic was inspired by you because nobody has taken tragedy and turned it into advocacy more than you have.
Well, that's not true, but thank you. There's lots.
Nobody
in this room.
Nobody in this room or listening. No, I'm kidding. But it was 21 years ago today that your brother Ron Goldman was murdered.
Yeah, it's a little strange. I think I'm buzzing. Sorry, maybe not. It's a little strange to think about it in terms of 21 years. To think of it that I've lived almost half my life,
right,
without my brother. It's
how does it change over the years? I mean,
I don't cry as long. I have spurts of tears, like the shower was very comforting this morning. Mm-hmm. I just have moments where I get anxious, my heart starts to race. As the day progresses, it gets a lot harder because I'm very cognizant of time and schedule and his routine, and everything was documented, so I'm very aware of everybody's last moments. And
right,
so
right.
I can't help but be a clock watcher. Even when the clocks aren't around, I still feel it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there are so many people probably listening who can relate to grief and tragedy, but the rest of us don't really have that in the public eye. You know, we don't have people tweeting. I mean, it's all over Twitter. It's this person and that. Remember, and to them, it's just part of their life history.
Right.
And so, do you think, I mean, I guess it's all that you know, but do you think it's different for you because it's everywhere? I mean, references still, you watch new TV, there are constant references everywhere.
Yeah, it's good and bad. I mean, it's really in some ways incredibly comforting that people are still so supportive and loving and encouraging and wrap their collective arms around our family. But then there are those moments where it's like I just can't escape it. And
right.
Even if I want to just shut down, I don't always get to do that. And that part, I think, is hard. There's just never really a reprieve from it. I think, later this year, we've got a whole new television series about the trial.
Yes.
We need that. Just
yes.
Hulu.
Well,
why do we need it?
Well, who do you want to play you anyway?
I think right now they're still casting for Chris Darden. But, I mean, even that, it's like, I think part of it, there's a whole new generation of people that are still being introduced to it.
Right.
It's still in the history books. It's being taught in classrooms across the country. And I think that's the part that trips me out. Mm-hmm. And so I just have to embrace it. And
so tell our listeners, what you've been doing. I mean, you're an advocate for victims and their families, and you're writing a book with so many.
I've completed my book.
Yes, tell them about Media Circus.
So before that, I sit on the board for the National Center of Victims of Crime, and so I help with policy and programs to help families that are dealing with some kind of trauma or tragedy. Last year, the year before, we were successful in starting the Compassion Fund, which is for families that have been struck by some kind of national tragedy, so like Newtown or Aurora,
right.
So that people can feel safe to donate money. It's kind of like a Red Cross, but for victims and survivors, and 100% of the proceeds get to the families. And then, yes, I did complete a book called Media Circus. It's actually, I think, going to print this week, perhaps, which is crazy.
Wow.
And I was really...
And you interviewed.
I did. I was really fortunate to interview 10 other families that were struck by high-profile cases.
Right.
And we talked a lot about the private grieving in the public eye and from Newtown to Aurora to Eric Garner's family to Skylar Neese, who was killed by her best friends, to Sharon Tate, who was killed by Charlie Manson, and it's just really fantastic about what it's
Wow.
like to live your life in a fishbowl and grieve with the whole world watching.
Right. And people can pre-order that book, can't they?
Oh, you're so cute. Yes.
Am I?
On Amazon right now. It's called Media Circus. It is up on Amazon, which is awesome, and it's coming out September 22nd. Super excited. It's been a long journey, but it's been remarkable and such inspiring stories.
Yeah, and I just think that, for you to put yourself out there, you could very easily just do some, you go and you speak,
Yep.
and you speak with police and how they can be more empathetic to families.
I mean,
I
I try to do as much as I can because there are so many families that don't get an opportunity to speak publicly and share their stories and make change. And I used to resist the public attention that our family received, but now I embrace it, and I feel very lucky that I get to talk on behalf of other families that don't always get that platform, to be able to teach law enforcement, media, how to be more sensitive when dealing with victims and survivors. I feel really lucky in that regard, so take it as each day.
All right. Well, when we come back, more incredible, courageous women who've turned tragedy into advocacy.
Stay tuned here on KHTS, your hometown station. We're taking your calls at 661-298-5487.
Welcome back. We're taking your calls, 661-298-5487. You can also comment on Facebook, on our page, and also Twitter at Broadscast Show. So, you like how I said that?
Yeah.
Best Friend Day was earlier this week. Everyone was posting. And we saw a topic that I had to ask because we're, these are world, really important events. Question for you.
Okay.
Would you tell your best friend if their partner was cheating?
Yes.
Yes?
Absolutely. I mean, if we weren't that close, I probably wouldn't, but if it's my best friend, absolutely.
What if it were me? Would you tell me if my husband was not boots?
I could probably list the 10 people in my life that I would do that for.
Yeah.
And then there's like the next tier of people that I may not because it's not my business, but I absolutely.
Really? What about you, Tatiana?
I would definitely tell my best friend if her man was cheating.
Yeah.
Because, that would be an awkward situation if I knew something and she didn't know something and then she found out and she was like, well, you knew about this. Why didn't you tell me? That's not really being a best friend.
Right. Would you try, we put this on Facebook earlier, and, would you try at least to tell him or her to tell their partner first, or
is it a husband or a boyfriend or like a fling?
A fling, that's different. You're not really cheating.
I guess it depends. My loyalty is to my girlfriend first.
Right.
I think I might do to the husband or the boyfriend. I know what's happening. I'm giving you 5 days to work it out. Otherwise, I might do that because
what if he says, "All right, I'll end it," and that's it? Are you still going to tell her?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wow.
Would you? You're not answering.
Yeah, of course I would.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't. But some people will say absolutely not. So Tatiana, what are people saying on Facebook? Did you get anything over there?
Yes. Nicole said, yes, I would, right after I beat the living hell out of the cheater. And then, interestingly, we have Chris. He said, no, I stay out of it. You never know what rules they have in place that they don't tell their friends. I know a number of people with open and questionable open marriages who don't discuss it with their friends or family. I knew a couple of friends who were happy to stick their head in the sand and think all was well.
Oh.
Yeah, but
that's
I guess
a good point, though.
If you have an open relationship, then if someone said to you, "Hey, I saw Bob hooking up with so and so," then it'd be like, "Yeah, we're totally in an open relationship." I mean, if you're going to have an open, then it wouldn't be private if your spouse was out there with somebody
else. You could have
else.
an open relationship that you don't tell people. Yeah, but
yes, but if you're out in the public, being that way with, I don't know, I just feel like you kind of have to take it as it comes if that's what your choice is, and good for you, but yeah.
And there was a comment there by Melissa. Tatiana, what did that say? She said, that it actually happened to her, right?
Yes, and I have done it twice. Same way I would tell my daughter when her boyfriend cheated.
Oh my God.
Well, and then there was somebody else that said that it kind of backfired on her a little bit. Oh, right. I think there was.
Yeah, and there was one who said that she recently found out, and everybody knew. And so she wished someone had told her. That's the
Right.
thing. If my husband is cheating, please, I don't care if you're a stranger. Like somebody, like, I would rather not be played for the fool.
Right.
You know, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
So that's a really important topic.
Well, actually, one question I thought was,
Yeah.
I know that we're moving on, but somebody said, what if your best friend was the cheater?
Oh.
Right? Like, if I knew you were cheating, would I
right.
tell Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Would you?
I don't know about that.
I think
my
that's
loyalty-
girl code.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would have, like, I've been in that situation. I've had a talk with my best friends who were,
I think I would have a hard time being friends with you if you were doing that. So that might shift our relationship.
Right,
but I
right.
think I would probably have a conversation with you about why and all those things and try to get you to do what you need to do. But no offense to your husband, but I don't know.
I
think
wouldn't tell. I would have a couple of rules, and one of them is please don't use me. You know, that's one thing that happened to me before,
Right.
where somebody used me as their plans,
Right.
and I didn't know about it. You know, and no, you don't get to do that.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, I've talked to other people who may, you know, other friends who may have been thinking about it or have gone down that road, and I do try to coach them not to continue. It never
Right.
ends well.
Right.
You know? So it's like,
Well-
if you got to be out of that other, you know, the other relationship, make a clean break.
Right.
You know?
First,
So,
yeah.
All right, the other really important topic, we only have 2 minutes left of the segment. Is it okay to have...
to have guest sex, like if you're in someone else's house on vacation or for the weekend, to hook up in their guest bedroom.
Yeah. What do you think?
I've done it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of hot. I mean,
Yeah?
it's kind of a little
Like,
risque.
At a friend or like your parents or like...
No, not at my dad's house. I don't even when
Because your dad's listening.
I don't know if my dad's listening, but when I was married in my house, and my dad would come to visit, I wouldn't have sex with my husband at the time.
Really?
I would have my ex-husband go up the stairs before me. I didn't want my dad to see me go up into my bedroom together. With
Really? With your
Yeah.
husband?
Yes, it was my dad. My
kinda
daddy's.
said but that kind of said something about your marriage.
Yeah, no, but yeah, in somebody else's house, I sure would.
What about you, Tatiana?
I've done it.
I think everyone has done it, but is it like a regular, like totally cool no matter where you are?
Yeah.
When I was at my in-laws, like I was like, don't even come near me.
Why?
You know, with my husband, just because I don't know.
I feel like they
it's
know. Like, come on, everyone knows what's going on,
Right.
Like, clearly you're together. Clearly you're doing something.
Yeah.
So
Does
But
it
I
make a
guess
difference
if
if
I
it's
have- oh, go ahead.
does it make a difference if it's your in-laws versus like?
Yes,
Okay.
it makes a difference on who it is,
Right.
And if my my kids are there.
Yeah,
you know.
but like quiet sex can be kind of sexy sometimes. Like it's kind of, I think someone made a comment
I've
that
been
just don't
married
leave
for
a mess.
almost 13 years. It's always quiet. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Don't leave a mess.
Yeah, Lisa from Facebook, she
Yeah.
said, it's acceptable just as long as you are very quiet and leave no mess, which is kind of gross. She said, you wouldn't want to wake anyone up or have them find any evidence. How else would you be able to deny if asked?
Mm-hmm.
And it will save you the embarrassment of proof. Plus, even if you didn't, they'll assume you did. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Lisa, for that comment.
Right. I like we're taking 180s here. I mean,
We
on
are.
the
That was just
topics,
a light
yeah.
little subject, and
All
now we'll
right.
get back to it.
Okay, so coming up, could your child be poisoned by lead paint in 2015? Tamara Rubin says absolutely yes. Hear her story and tips for staying safe and healthy. You are listening to Broadscast on KHTS, your hometown station. Stay tuned.